No, but if you look, he could have been doing it in the United States as well. What did you say? So basically, if you are in a high altitude area, your body has to work harder and, as I understand, like produce more red blood cells to be able to get the same amount of oxygen to your body. And so your body just naturally works harder. In fact, um so I dated this girl. I don't know if you really want to say we dated, but like we used to hook up, and she was a Division 1 athlete, and she was from originally Colorado, and she was like a big time recruit of our university. And then when she got to so like there's this race every year that is like the biggest race in the United States for people in high school, and a lot of people get recruited from this race. And like I had a friend of mine who actually won the race. He was the fastest American man or boy out of high school. Well, this girl I know did really well in it, and like all her friends did really well in it, and they all got full ride scholarships to Division 1 schools. Well, when she got to university, she was extremely good at the beginning of her career because her body was still like hadn't yet acclimated to sea level. But then when she was around sea level for a long time, she didn't do as well. She was still good, but she wasn't like as good. And same with her friends. So there was this theory that we developed that is basically when you have children, if you can, have them trained in a high altitude environment, if you can, before the biggest races of the year. And then when they have to race, they will do very well because many of those races are at sea level. And so they'll do really, really well. And they'll get scholarships to go to, big time universities when maybe they wouldn't have gotten them normally. Does that make sense? Well, so that's a thing. Oh, I know. That's what Tiger Woods was doing. He was using altitude chambers. Yeah, that's right. But I do remember that was somehow involved. These altitude chambers and this Dr. Ferrari. And also, okay, so do you know who Barry Bonds is? Oh, yeah. But not the thing that made him really good was not the steroids. It was this arm brace that he had. Google Barry Bonds arm brace. Yeah, he was. Okay, so do you, not like that. Wait, not like that. No, this was different. This was different. He actually had to be grandfathered in for that brace because the MLB changed their rules. And what that brace did, it was specially made for him in San Francisco. And what it would do is it would allow his arm to always lock in a perfect position. And it like, let me look up the terminology on it. Right, exactly. And there was an argument made, hey, how are you going to let this guy have this giant brace? There were a couple arguments about it. Number one, he could use that brace if he wanted to lean into pitches and get hit by them, and then he would get a walk, and it wouldn't hurt him. And then the other thing was, it acted like a perfect like a perfect pendulum. Hold on a second. Yo, how did Barry Bonds's arm brace allegedly work like a pendulum? Or like, there have been theories that that brace wasn't normal. Yeah. So here's the situation. It was a large hinge protection elbow guard, but the allegations were it was an extension aid pendulum theory. The brace was thought to lock in his front arm, keeping it straight like a lever or pendulum. This could help him create a more consistent swing plane, extending the bat head into the hitting zone longer. And it also allowed him to crowd the plate. With the brace protecting his elbow, Bonds could stand closer to the plate without fear of being hit. This shrank pitchers' options, fewer inside pitches, more pitches over the plate. It was custom built. And so the MLB eventually restricted the size and design of protective equipment because of him, basically. Isn't that interesting? And now he's the home run king. Yeah, that is against the rules. Yeah, but it couldn't lock into place. But nobody ever got a chance to look at it. And he was also part of um, a an organization in San Francisco called Balco, which was Bay Area Laboratory Corporation, and they developed these two kinds of drugs that were exposed in a Sports Illustrated expose. One of them was called the cream, and the other was called the clear. And basically, what these things would do, they were like topical ointments that allowed you to get steroids into your body and pass a drug test. Like, basically, the cream allowed you to get the steroids, and the clear would make it so that you would not be found doing steroids on a drug test, something like that. Anyway, so that's the Barry Bonds one. Now, Babe Ruth, if you know, was the home run king for like ever. Like, you know, very well known to be the home run king. And he had the record before Barry Bonds of 700, or before, well, he had the record before Barry Bonds and Hank Aaron of the home run king, 714. However, back then, when he was playing in like the 1910s, 1920s, 1930s, these guys weren't making any money. The pitchers, especially, they were making like what coal miners were making, basically. Like, they weren't making millions of dollars. But Babe Ruth, because he did endorsements and such, He made more than anybody else. So what he would do is go to the pitcher of the opposing team, which isn't like it is now, where the teams are like not usually together or whatever. These were guys who would go to the bar afterward and just be able to talk to each other. And he would say, "I want you to throw me a pitch over the plate. Here's $100." And so he used to be able to basically bribe the other team to throw him good pitches when he wanted to impress people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's
No one else had any money to do that?
not like that. He made like 5 times what anybody else was making. There's another one. So Joe DiMaggio had a 51 game hitting streak, which still stands to this day, and that's another one that they think that bribery may have been involved, where you like it becomes a thing for pitchers to want to be part of history, and so they want to be one of the pitchers who had the game-winning hit off of them, or um, the like you know Babe Ruth's 714th hit was off of my grandpa kind of deal. They become part of history then. So you may be like, well, wouldn't they want to strike him out? Yeah, they do, but there's also something to it that if they're going to get a bribe, plus they're going to be part of history, that's exciting to them as well. Um, let's talk about basketball. So the Michael Jordan thing. I don't know if you're aware. We may have talked about it before, but do you know Michael Jordan played baseball? Okay, so Michael Jordan was drafted in 1984, I believe 85. He was drafted in 1985. He was the third overall pick. He went to the Chicago Bulls, and the Bulls were really bad. And the Bulls went from like 1985. They started to get better, and then Michael Jordan did what was interesting. Have you seen the movie Air?
No.
Dude, it is one of the best movies I've seen of the last decade. It's like the story of how Michael.
Era, the baseball movie?
No, it's a basketball movie about how Michael Jordan developed the Jordan shoes. Anyway,
Era, like E-R-R-O.
no Air, like AIR, like Jordan Nike Airs, and it's got Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and um, it's got a bunch of people in it. Anyway, and the thing about that movie, yeah, it came out like 2 years ago. It has a great soundtrack, and nobody plays Michael Jordan. You just see him from behind, and it's really interesting that they do that. Anyway, um, so before companies, everybody would go with the same shoe company. It was the Converse All Stars, and everybody kind of had the same shoes, and they would get whatever Converse wanted to pay, including like the biggest star at that time before Michael Jordan was like Dr. J. But like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, they all just took like the standard uh, agreement for being a spokesperson. But what Michael Jordan did that was different, and he didn't even want to do this. He didn't want to go out to Eugene, Oregon, but his parents made him. Is he would get like 5% on every shoe that was sold, and that was like groundbreaking in the shoe industry. And the reason why Nike did it is they didn't have an athlete. They like couldn't afford an athlete. They were a small company, and so they basically put all of their marketing into this one guy, and his shoes just became really popular to the point where the NBA became like an international sensation because of this one guy. Well, Michael Jordan still hadn't won a championship yet, and they played the Detroit Pistons And the Detroit Pistons were like a really stacked team. Additionally, the Pistons were really aggressive, and the Pistons beat them 2 years in a row, and the Pistons won back to back NBA championships. And Michael Jordan did not like this. And so, what Michael Jordan did allegedly was start to take steroids. And you can see it in his body. That's when he went from having hair to his classic bald look. That's where you can just see it in his muscles. He's like a small framed person in the mid 80s, and he goes to being jacked by the early 90s. And the Bulls end up winning like the 89-90 championship, 91-92 championship, and 92-93 championship. And then all of a sudden, Michael Jordan retires to play baseball. And the whole world is like, what the fuck? Michael Jordan, you just won 3 games in a row, 3 NBA titles in a row. What are you going to do? Like, why are you going to play baseball? Now, if you ask Michael Jordan, he will say, my dad always wanted me to play baseball, and it was his dream, and I had done everything that you can do in basketball, so why not go play baseball? But if you ask
I'm like just hearing about this for the first time right now.
look it up. Look up Michael.
He played for the White Sox?
Yeah, he played for the. So here's the thing: the White Sox owner was Jerry Reinsdorf, who also owned the Bulls. So Reinsdorf, the owner, was going to make money on Michael Jordan either way. Meaning, either if he plays baseball, we're going to make money from concessions and merchandise, or if he plays basketball, we're going to make it. But the theory is this, and this is pretty well known. Michael Jordan's dad was murdered in 1992. He was driving a Mercedes-Benz sports car, wearing a Rolex, and there are theories that this was a hit, meaning Michael Jordan pissed off the wrong people, and they killed his dad. Now, his dad's body was found, and the Rolex was still on him, and the Mercedes Benz was untouched. Like basically, they just killed this guy, but they didn't steal his shit. And no, it was in like maybe North Carolina or something. I'm not sure where he died. We'll look it up. It was Lumberton, North Carolina. Oh, it was a Lexus, not a Mercedes Benz. Um, okay. So he was killed in North Carolina, but his body was found in South Carolina. Okay. But here's the thing. Michael Jordan is a very famous gambler. And the argument is this, that Michael Jordan wasn't paying his gambling debts. And they killed his dad. And then the next year, the NBA barred Michael Jordan from playing in the league. But they couldn't allow it to be a huge scandal because if you bar your biggest player and arguably the biggest player to ever play in the NBA for gambling on games, that's going to ruin the league. People aren't going to trust it anymore. So they said that he retired in a backroom deal, though. It was really he was banned for 18 months. And so Michael Jordan went from being the biggest basketball star in the world to playing baseball for a season.
Why the fuck would he gamble on basketball games if they're the highest paid person?
If you've ever seen Michael Jordan with people, like if you've ever seen the documentary that they did on Netflix called Last Dance, Michael Jordan bets on everything. He gets bored and he has so much money, he likes to intimidate people. So he has owed people on the golf course tens of millions of dollars. And it's very well known that when he goes to casinos, he doesn't pay his bets. He says, I'm Michael Jordan. Like, you pay me to be there. And if I lose, I don't have to pay. it so these casinos all around the United States have banned him from playing there, and um,
He's worth $3 billion almost.
yeah, but he doesn't pay his gambling debts. But look at his gambling debts in comparison. This is an interesting fact, and that's not liquid. That's just because he owns the Jordan brand along with Nike. But I'm not
I don't know
checking.
if I can get an accurate answer from internet. Saying like 1.25 million of golf bets.
No, 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 no. There was one guy who said he owed him.
That's
One individual said he owed him $40 million, like huge, one professional golfer. And the thing is, with Michael Jordan, there are many stories of this. They'll play poker. They played poker one time for 36 hours straight. Hold on. Let me. What the fuck? My browser isn't working. Just one moment. I'll look it up. And this is documented in like a Netflix documentary. It's like, what are some alleged Michael Jordan gambling stories? Like, didn't he play poker for 36 hours? And didn't he owe somebody like $40 million from golf? And isn't he banned from a bunch of casinos? Yeah, over the years, a lot of gambling rumors have swirled around. Okay, marathon poker sessions. Jordan was known for playing high stakes poker games that could go on for 24 to 36 hours straight during the 1990s. Those stories came from teammates, writers, insiders who said he had incredible stamina for cards and betting. Often these games weren't just about money, but they were about competition and pride. The 1.25 million, $40 million golf gambling story. A 1992 San Diego in 1992. So this is right around that time when he went to from golf to from basketball to baseball. A San Diego businessman named Richard Esquinas wrote a book called "Michael and Me: Our Gambling Addiction." Addiction. My cry for help. Like this guy wrote a book about gambling with Michael Jordan. That's how big a problem he had. In it, Esquinas claimed that Jordan lost 1.25 million to him in golf bets, but that after negotiation, Jordan only paid back 300,000. Esquinas also alleged at one point Jordan had gambled away over $40 million on golf alone. $40 million back then. That's a huge amount. So this isn't that, that's true. Here's another one. Atlantic City during the 1993 playoffs. During the 1993 Eastern Conference playoffs versus the Knicks, Jordan admitted he went to Atlantic City to gamble the night before Game 2. Reports claimed he was there until 2 or 3 a.m., though Jordan said he returned earlier. This caused a media firestorm because the Bulls lost Game 2, and critics questioned his focus. The James Slim Bueller check. In 1993, investigators found a $57,000 personal check from Jordan to James Slim Bueller, a golf hustler facing money laundering charges. Jordan testified that it was to cover gambling losses on the golf course. The revelation fueled rumors about how deep Jordan's gambling went and whether it was tied to shady figures. Rumors of a secret suspension. Because Jordan abruptly retired in October 1993, right after his father's murder, theories spread that the NBA secretly suspended him for gambling, rather than him leaving voluntarily to play baseball. David Stern and Jordan denied this, but the, but the evidence I just said supports it. Casino bans. There have been long rumors that Jordan was banned from certain casinos, mostly in Las Vegas and Atlantic City, because of his heavy action. So, I mean, that's a lot of evidence, is it not?
yeah, no, sounds pretty good. I did not know that.
Dude, it shocked the world when he played baseball.
How bad is he at baseball?
He was actually pretty good, but not good enough for the major leagues.
He was paying for home runs.
No, he wasn't doing that, but he
Probably was.
he played, I believe, Double A baseball, which is pretty good, but he never played in an MLB game. Meaning, I think he played. I think he
Playing for the White Sox.
well, he was in the White Sox farm league, farm team. I think he might have played um one MLB game, but he did not do really well. And there's like all this speculation. Um, there's an ESPN 30 for 30 on it. It's called Jordan Rides the Bus, and it's really funny. So he spent a year in Birmingham, Alabama, and Michael Jordan was a phenomenon at that time. And so he gets to town, and it's like this small Alabama town, and he drives up in a Porsche or whatever from the airport, and he meets they do this interview with this like small town real estate agent, and she's like, "Yep, I sold Michael Jordan his house," and he's like, he just gets there and he's like, "Yeah, I'll take that one." Basically, she's like, he knew what he wanted, and like she's really respectful about it, but basically, imagine like you're living in this small town, and then like the biggest superstar in the world comes, and you to sell him a house, basically. And so he spent a year in like Birmingham, Alabama, and he and so he like when he would play on this baseball team, he could easily have like a private jet take him wherever he needed, but he would ride the bus with the rest of the team, and he did not do very well. Let me see if he played in the major leagues. Did Michael Jordan actually ever play in a real major league game? If he did, it was just one game. But no, he never did. Here's what he did do:
Imagine if he did baseball.
the minor leagues. He played for the Birmingham Barons, a Double A Southern League. He played a full season there. His stats are a 202 batting average, 3 home runs, 51 RBIs, 30 stolen bases. 202 batting average is bad. Not great numbers, but not embarrassing considering he hadn't played organized baseball since high school. He played for the Scottsdale Scorpions in the spring training. He appeared in the Cactus League exhibition games with the White Sox. These were against actual MLB teams, but they don't count as actual MLB games. Isn't that an interesting one, Riser?
It's not one of those.
Yeah. So,
To ride the bus. To ride in the bus. Anyway, for
yeah, it's called Jordan Ride to the Bus. It's one of my favorite um what do you call it? ESPN 30 for 30s. Do you ever watch 30 for 30s?
no.
They're amazing. They're like these,
Sports documentaries.
yeah, sports documentaries that ESPN puts out, and they're really interesting. like the NBA started making concessions to